if you allow me just a quick 30 seconds to say a few words in Portuguese, I think it suits the fact that we are celebrating Portugal, our Portuguese culture, the poet Luís de Camões, that I address some of you in Portuguese this afternoon. Senhoras e senhores, bem-vindos à cerimónia oficial do Dia de Portugal, de Camões e das comunidades portuguesas aqui na maravilhosa cidade de New Bedford. Uma cidade que, graças aos portugueses, hoje é a cidade grande e frutífera que é, e certamente com a ajuda das novas gerações de portugueses e luso-americanos, a cidade vai continuar a ser a grande cidade de New Bedford. Mas, se não fosse a comunidade portuguesa, certamente que a cidade não seria hoje o que é. Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, we invite everyone to celebrate some of the Portuguese culture here in the city of New Bedford. Obviously, if you live here, you've been immersed in the Portuguese culture throughout all of these years, but visit us on Acushnet Avenue during this weekend for all of the festivities, and we're glad you could make it out here this afternoon. I'd like to invite the Honorable Secretary of State of Foreign Affairs and Cooperation to join us in the raising of the flag, and the Senhor da Pedra Band will perform the Portuguese national anthem, which will also be sung by Portuguese students of the Portuguese schools here in the city of New Bedford, and we invite everyone who knows the words to the Portuguese anthem to also sing along in this great moment of Portuguese pride. Portugal! Now let's accompany the Senhor da Pedra Band in performing the American National Anthem, the Star-Spangled Banner. And God bless the United States of America. On behalf of the Mayor of the City of New Bedford, I'd like to introduce to you Christine Arsenal.
Hello, my name is Christine Arsenal, and I'm part of Mayor Mitchell's staff. I am honored to be here. However, Mayor Mitchell is at the New Bedford High School graduation tonight, so he could not join us tonight. I know that saddens him because this is one of the best flag raisings that we look forward to all year. The crowd is tremendous as always, and we have a good night. Some years, even without good weather, we have a tremendous crowd, and that just honors the tradition that Day of Portugal honors us with. And we're very proud that our city continues these traditions for everyone to enjoy. So everyone enjoy the music, the dancing, and all that we have to offer, and have a great weekend. Thank you so much.
And I'd like to introduce someone who we are very proud to call one of our own, State Representative Tony Cabral.
Good evening, or good afternoon. It's after 6, so usually it's good evening, right? It's wonderful to be here, and it's wonderful to see so many of you here with us celebrating the beginning of the festivities of the Day of Portugal, the Portuguese communities in Luís de Camões. This is a very important opportunity for us. This is really the kickoff of the summer and one of the first festivities in the city of New Bedford. But it is really an opportunity for us to showcase the Portuguese American culture, showcase the Portuguese American community, and also for us to really celebrate the struggles, the challenges, and the successes of this community, and the contributions that this community has given to this city to make the great city that it is, for us to have a better place for us to live. And this community has given over the years to make this city a proud city and a proud place for all of us to live. And we also know how to answer the call. Many of our members of this community have served the armed forces of the United States, and many have given their lives, the ultimate sacrifice, so we could enjoy our liberties, so we continue to enjoy our successes and our challenges. In this city, throughout the city, as you walk the city or you drive this city, there are many monuments that celebrate, if you will, or memorialize, if you will, those individuals that gave the ultimate sacrifice. If you start in the south end of the city, in the heart of my district, you have a place called Goulart Square. Goulart Square is the first American soldier from the city of New Bedford to die in World War I, a Portuguese American by the name of Walter Goulart. Near there, I'll just give you 2 examples of the bravery and commitment and what we do as a community as well. Also, in the south end, there's another small square called Tiago Reis, or Tiago Reis Square. Tiago was a young man that immigrated with his parents at the age of 10 and lived on Rivet Street. At the age of 20, he had died in Vietnam. An immigrant from São Miguel, from the Azores. And we have many, many, many examples to give. It shows that we should be proud of our contributions. We should be proud that we know our answer to the call as well. It's nice to see so many familiar faces. It's nice to see all the Portuguese American organizations, the Prince Andrew Society, SS, the Azorean Maritime Heritage Society here, and our Cape Verdean friends. The president also of the Cape Verdean Cultural Association is also here celebrating this day with us, and most of the members of the City Council, which I'm sure I'll leave for Ricardo to introduce, but I think it's important to know that they are here and they are also recognizing the importance of this day. So to all of you, keep your chin up and be proud. Right? Be proud to be Portuguese, because we should be proud. Obrigado. Viva Portugal.
Thank you, Representative Cabral. Now it's my honor to introduce to you the man who, for many years, has assumed the responsibilities of bringing together a committee to organize the great festival on Acushnet Avenue that we will be celebrating tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday. The President of the Day of Portugal Committee, Mr. Carlos Pinhenços.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the committee, I'd like to thank all of you for being present and your support throughout the year. It makes it very easy to be in my position when we have people behind us that support us, like these fine groups. It wasn't that long ago that we stood here, we were grasping for volunteers, we were grasping for groups, and the unity that we share amongst us right now is a common thread, and that thread's been sown by a very special friend of our community, and that is Dr. Pedro Carneiro. Thank you very much for all of your hard work. We stand here to celebrate our accomplishments. As a Portuguese community, what we've done in the New Bedford community, in our state community, and our national community. We've done very well for ourselves. We've strived, we've fought hard, and there's nothing that we won't do to succeed. And that's what it means to be Portuguese, is to put your best effort forward and always keep trying. And Representative Cabral just mentioned to you some fine people that have passed away that dedicated their lives to this community. Well, I'm not gonna go that far. I'm gonna reach over to my right, and a friend of our community for many years, Chief Joe Cadero. Thank you so much for all your hard work. This young man right here, and I say young, he's older than me by a year or two, but this young man is what being Portuguese is right here in the community. Chief, thank you very much. Always a pleasure. That being said, we don't have to go very far to look around this crowd itself and see what we need to be proud of. But we need to keep up the hard work that we've started, our ancestors started, and continue it for the generations that you see in front of you. The children, we keep the Portuguese school as a way of keeping our culture together and teaching them what we had as children. And hopefully the culture lives on, the heritage lives on, and our community will be intact for many, many years. Thank you so much. Hope to see you this weekend.
Much of what happens in the city has to pass by the City Council, and we are very well represented here in New Bedford. And if you give me the moment to mention all of the councilors which represent this great city, and then someone will speak on their behalf, the council president. But I'd like to acknowledge the councilors at large: Ian Abreu, Brian Gomes, Deborah Coelho, Linda Morad, and Naomi Carney. Ward councilors also: Ward 1, James Oliveira; Ward 2, Steve Martins; Ward 3, Henry Basque; Ward 4, Dana Ribeiro; Ward 5, Kerry Winterson; and Ward 6, Joe Lopes. Now, I don't have to mention how many Portuguese names that we heard in this great group, so also on a political level, we are very well represented in the city. And to speak on behalf of the City Council, we are honored to have the President of the City Council and Councilor at Large, Linda Morad.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. Well, I'm not one of those Portuguese names. I'm a Lebanese person, but today, all of my colleagues and I wear Portuguese, and we're proud to be Portuguese as well. So it's a beautiful showing tonight for this flag raising, which it always is. And as usual, you bring us good weather. You always do. Let's have an applause for the weather, because it sounds to me like you're going to have a great weekend on the Avenue. On behalf of all my colleagues who are here tonight, all 11 of us are present, we want to thank all of you for what you do in our community every single day. You give back to New Bedford, and you make us very proud, and you make our city look wonderful. God bless each one of you and your families. We look forward to a wonderful weekend, and we look forward to this tradition for many years to come. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Council President Linda Morad. I'd also like to recognize, representing Congressman Bill Keating, Inês Gonçalves Drulé, that is also joining us here this afternoon. Now, what a great Portuguese representation we have here at the South Coast, and we have a few of the greatest organizations here represented this afternoon. Mario Almeida, president of the Senhor da Pedra Club. David Lucio, president of the Clube Santíssimo Sacramento. We have Michael Tavares, president of the Prince Henry Society. Representing Centro Luso, Adrian Carvalho. Representing the Cape Verdean Association, Raquel Dias. Representing the Casa dos Açores da Nova Inglaterra, Nélia Alves Guimarães. Representing the Portuguese American Social Club of Dartmouth, Michael Santos. And also we have representation here from the Azorian Maritime Heritage Society. If there is any other organization here, please let us know. We do want to recognize you. Also to show our invited guests from Portugal the great representation we have of Portugal right here in the Whaling City. Now I say this every time I introduce this gentleman and this true class act. We have never, and I mean ever, been so well served in the city of New Bedford by the Portuguese government since 3 years ago when Consul Pedro Carneiro came to this city. He's a great friend of our community, defends everything that happens within this very tight-knit and proud community, and we are proud to have him as our consul. Senhoras e senhores, o Cônsul de Portugal em New Bedford, Dr. Pedro Carneiro.
Muito boa tarde a todos. Good afternoon. It's a great pleasure to be here again for my third day of Portugal here in New Bedford. It has been quite a ride, quite an experience, very moving. I would like to, first of all, say a couple of thanks. Thanks to Banda Senhor da Pedra that so beautifully played both national anthems of Portugal and the United States. Congratulations, thank you very much for being here. Also, a recognition to the work of the committee, the organizing committee of the Day of Portugal in New Bedford, headed by Carlos Pinhanços, and the staff, everybody. It takes a lot of work. Yes, you can give a round of applause. It takes a lot of work to put this together, these festivities, starting Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And congratulations for a job well done. We have a great weather, as President Council said, Linda Morad. We have a great weather blessing us today. I'll be very brief because today we have two very important people here with us. Coming from Portugal, we have the Secretary of State of Foreign Affairs and Cooperation, Mrs. Teresa Ribeiro, and we also have the presence of the Ambassador of Portugal to the United States of America, Domingos Fezas Vital. And they are truly honoring this celebration, this Day of Portugal here in New Bedford with their presence. And I would just like to share with you that it's always moving for me to be with all of you in a day like this, when we see the Portuguese flag up there and when we see the American flag up there together. It holds a lot of symbolism, and for me, it has been a great privilege and a great honor to serve as Consul of Portugal in this beautiful city with this great community that is getting together, it's getting united more and more. And in days like this, we see with the organizations, with the bands, with the schools, with everybody here present, we see that we can come together we can celebrate this great day jointly, and we can share this Portugalidade, esta Portugalidade. E, portanto, gostaria de terminar em português, dizendo que é de facto uma grande honra. É um grande dia para todos nós, é um dia em que partilhamos sentimentos, é um dia em que partilhamos história, é um dia que partilhamos amizade, é um dia que partilhamos riquezas de Portugal, dos Estados Unidos da América. E a vossa presença aqui é o melhor exemplo da forma como prestigiam e da forma como dignificam Portugal, a herança portuguesa e os vossos antepassados. Fazê-lo aqui em New Bedford, nos Estados Unidos da América, estado de Massachusetts, é absolutamente extraordinário. E, portanto, gostaria muito de agradecer a vossa presença e de vos felicitar pelo dia de hoje. O dia é de todos nós. O dia de Portugal, de Camões e das comunidades é o dia de todos nós. Muito obrigado.
I'd like to recognize three more individuals here this afternoon. Conselheiros da Comunidade, João Luís Morgado Pacheco e Paulo Martins. Thank you very much for being here. I'd also like to recognize a gentleman who is a very familiar face to us because he visited our community many, many times when he served as the Secretary of State for the Portuguese communities outside of Portugal. Currently, he is serving as a parliament member, but also representing the communities, the Portuguese communities outside of Portugal. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. José Cesário. And it is with great honor that we welcome for the first time here in the city of New Bedford on an official capacity. He has been our ambassador, or the ambassador of Portugal in the United States for nearly 9 to 10 months, I believe. I believe that the math, 8 months. I was adding another one. Very good. But we are very honored to welcome this afternoon the ambassador of Portugal to the United States, Dr. Domingos Fezes Vital.
Madam Secretary of State, State Representative Tony Cabral, City Council President Linda Morada and City Councillors, Representative of the Mayor, Jonathan Mitchell, my dear friend Pedro Carneiro, our Council to New Bedford, Councils of the Communities, João Pacheco and Paulo Martins, the President of the Day of Portugal in New Bedford Committee, Carlos Pinhanços, thank you very much for everything you've done. President and members of the Prince Henry Society, Clube Madeirense, Santo Sacramento, Casa dos Açores da Nova Inglaterra, Azorean Maritime Heritage Society, Luso-American Life Insurance Society, Centro de Assistência ao Imigrante. Presidente e representantes da Escola Portuguesa Portuguese United for Education. You will allow me that my first words, which are quite moved words, are to thank you, Pedro, as a colleague and as a Portuguese, for everything you've been doing here, for what you have achieved, for serving our country, the country of that flag, of the beautiful anthem that we just listened to, with your heart, with the best of your efforts. Thank you very much. I am very honored to be back to the state of Massachusetts and to be here in New Bedford for the first time, celebrating the National Day of Portugal. The official denomination of our National Day is Day of Portugal, of Camões, and of the Portuguese communities. The Portuguese communities are, first of all, a sign of personal courage and initiative, of the individual success that makes the very own United States what they are nowadays. But for Portugal, our diaspora is what makes us a country that extends well beyond our European borders. If we are a global country, that's because of you. Through your individual lives, you convey the message of openness that Portugal has brought to the world for ages. Our National Day is also the day, as I said, of Camões, which is to say, the day of the Portuguese language. A language that is not only ours, because we are a global country. We've been everywhere. A country that is shared by almost 2,050 million Portuguese speakers across the world. It is shared by the Portuguese-speaking diaspora that is so important here in Massachusetts. Por isso, neste dia 10, que é o dia da nossa língua, amanhã, quero-vos deixar uma palavra de reconhecimento pelo esforço e pelo trabalho na promoção do ensino do português, sobretudo nas escolas comunitárias e com o apoio da coordenação do ensino na Nova Inglaterra. Quero-vos pedir que vejam o português como uma língua do futuro e para as gerações mais novas, não apenas como a língua da ligação ao passado e ao país de origem. O português é hoje uma língua internacional que traz reais vantagens no mercado de trabalho. Uma das línguas que mais cresce no mundo. Para além disso, a aprendizagem de uma segunda língua é para as crianças, para as vossas crianças, para os vossos filhos, um dos melhores mecanismos de desenvolvimento intelectual. Valorizem-na, portanto, como uma forma de oferecermos aos nossos filhos uma melhor educação e um melhor futuro. The Congress of Massachusetts has also the biggest Portuguese American legislative caucus in the state house in the US, with 8 members, 3 senators and 5 representatives. I would like to express my deep gratitude for what they have been doing for Portugal and for the relations between Portugal and the United States. But I would like to make an appeal here. Please vote in the elections in this country, because the more you vote, the more we will be sure that we are listened by those who are in this country taking the decisions. And if we want the decisions to be decisions that we like, we have to make sure that we have as much Portuguese American elected as possible in the United States. Eu vou terminar as minhas últimas palavras para dizer da honra que é para mim estar aqui com a senhora Secretária de Estado dos Negócios Estrangeiros e da Cooperação, que tem acompanhado durante esta visita que tem feito pela Nova Inglaterra, por conta do nosso Dia Nacional, e tenho podido testemunhar o enorme apreço que o vosso esforço lhe merece e a emoção que ela tem vivido a cada momento desta sua passagem pela Nova Inglaterra. Convido-a, portanto, a tomar agora a palavra. Muito obrigado.
Honorable City Council President Linda Morada and City Councillors, Honorable State Representative Tony Cabral, His Excellency, the Member of the Portuguese Parliament, José Cesário, Honorable Representative of the Mayor, Jonathan Michel, Your Excellency, the Ambassador of Portugal to the United States of America, Your Excellency, the Consul of Portugal in New Bedford, with the real star tonight, honorable Portuguese community councillors, honorable President of the Day of Portugal in New Bedford Committee, Carlos Pinhanços, dear representatives of the Portuguese and Americans of Portuguese origin community and its associations, and dear friends. For many years I have heard of New Bedford and of its Portuguese community. It is a great pleasure and a great honor to finally be here among you and to represent the Portuguese government in these commemorations of our National Day, when we celebrate both our history and the high achievements of the Portuguese communities scattered around the world. And it's indeed appropriate to recall our history of seafarers here in New Bedford. After all, it were fishermen and whalers, the bravest of sailors, the first Portuguese to arrive here and establish themselves on these shores. Today, obviously, the Portuguese and the Americans of Portuguese origin living in New Bedford worked on the most diverse activities, but they continue to be known and admired for their hard work, their courage, and their commitment, exactly as their forefathers were. You seized the opportunities America presented when the people of New Bedford generously welcome you or your parents or your grandparents. You fulfilled your dreams, and in return, you actively contribute today to the social, economic, and political life of this city. But the recognition and even affection that you rightfully feel for New Bedford and for the United States does not preclude equal affection for your Portuguese roots and traditions. This celebration today of our heritage is the most eloquent proof of it. Portugal and the United States are old allies and friends. You have played and continue to play a most relevant role in forging and strengthening the bonds that connect these two great countries. Please continue to seize this unique advantage of being both Portuguese and American to promote business, cultural, scientific, and technological cooperation that would, by definition, have a presence in the two richest, fairest, and most innovative blocs in the world, the United States and the European Union. Portuguese, the third most spoken Western language in the world, is widely spoken in this city. Allow me to take advantage of this fact to add a few more words in Portuguese. E queria, meus caros amigos, falar-vos precisamente da língua portuguesa. Queria agradecer às associações e à Escola Portuguesa tudo o que tem feito pela promoção da língua e recordar que falar português não é só uma questão de família ou de tradição, como foi, aliás, sublinhado pelo Sr. Embaixador de Portugal nos Estados Unidos. O português é cada vez mais uma língua global, de cultura e de negócios e de ciência. Se os vossos filhos a dominarem, em conjunto com o inglês, terão melhores oportunidades e mais capacidade de investir nos seus sonhos. Continuem, por favor, a acarinhar este nosso imenso património que partilhamos com centenas de milhões, mas que pertence a cada um de vós, a cada um de nós. Obrigada por tudo o que têm feito por Portugal. Bem-ajam, viva Portugal!
Thank you very much, Madam Secretary. We are very honored with your presence here in New Bedford this afternoon to celebrate Portugal with us. Ladies and gentlemen, the Secretary of State of Foreign Affairs and Cooperation of Portugal, Doutora Teresa Ribeiro. Now, ladies and gentlemen, to get a little taste of what we will be living on Acushnet Avenue during the next 3 days, I invite the children from the Portuguese United for Education Folklore Group to perform for us here this afternoon 2 beautiful numbers from traditional Portuguese music from different regions of Portugal. Senhoras e senhores, os alunos do Portuguese United for Education e o grupo folclórico dessa mesma organização e Escola de Língua Portuguesa.
Many of us. Ela agora vai ficar desconfiada toda a noite. O que é que a gente está a dizer? Let's get to the point.